Welcome to Crafting on the Plains. My name is Jacintha, and this is my channel about cross stitch, knitting, sewing, quilting, and any other crafty endeavors that I get up to. If you are a new viewer, welcome and thank you so much. I know that I had quite a few new people join me after my most recent video, which was a whip parade. So if you hopped on for the whip parade and came back, thank you so much. Welcome to my channel. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back and thank you so much for joining me again. I want to get started right into the crafting because I have kind of a lot to share. I took a little bit of a break on social media for like the festive season, really enjoyed it, but I'm excited to get back to it. And I thought I didn't have very much to share, but I'm looking around at my piles and I kind of feel like I do. So I wanted to just start with a really quick shout out, and I'm looking down because I always second guess myself, but it is Caroline's Stitch Corner. She is another Flosstuber and she shouted me out back early December, and I just haven't had the chance to return the favor, but she is amazing. She's from Austria and she stitches a lot of different kinds of cross stitch, and I love her channel. She's very calming to watch and listen to, and I love seeing her projects and listen to how she thinks about starting different projects or working on different projects. I actually had started watching her channel right before Jingle Ball, and then I happened to be in a stitching room with her at Jingle Ball, but I didn't realize that it was like, I was thinking like, I know I recognize this person. Where do I recognize her from? We had a great chat, got along really great, really enjoyed chatting with each other in the stitching room. And then as soon as her next video came up, I realized that's exactly the person that I had just watched a video for and then got to meet at Jingle Ball. So it was a fun, happy coincidence. And thank you, Caroline, for shouting me out, and make sure to check out her channel if you have not already. So I'm going to get started on my cross stitch, and I will try to put timestamps below on the different sections. Usually that does take me a couple days to get to, just because I have to wait for the video to completely upload and then have time to go back in and re-watch it and put in the timestamps. So if you don't see those immediately, I do apologize, but I am getting to them and I'm trying to be better about putting the timestamps in quickly. So I'm going to start with new finished objects. Not fully finishes. I don't have any of those, but I do have some finished objects. And the first one is this beautiful piece. This is my stitch for the Stitchy Sister Sal, which was hosted by Handmade by Sarah W. and her sister. Sarah has a Flosstube, and then her sister is on Instagram as Stitched in Pieces, and they are so much fun. They are super kind, wonderful ladies. I have been so glad to get to know them over the course of this sal. It's been amazing. And this is Berries in Bloom by Hands On Designs. It's a free chart, and I'm so glad that the sal encouraged me to get this started. I did basically a full conversion. This is stitched on a 32 count fabric from a dyer that is sadly no longer dyeing, but I did it all in DMCs. And I did post my full conversion to my Instagram. I have a highlights reel that says conversions. It's literally just this one right now. But my hope is to, as I complete projects that I have done a full conversion for, that I will put that there so there's a place for me to reference and then for y'all to reference. If you don't have Instagram, I have an email that I'll put down below. So if you want any information and you can't find me on Instagram, you can email me there. But, and my Instagram will be listed down below as well. But that is my finish and I love it. It's so beautiful. And I'm very happy. I'm not going to get this finished this year. I might pull out some of my Christmas finishes and finish them for like Christmas in July. I've done that before. It's really fun. But it may just get finished at the beginning of like, it might get finished next November. I don't know. We'll see. And then I had another Christmas finish, and this one I'm also super excited about. And this is a little bit wrinkled. I thought I had ironed it, but I think I forgot to iron this one. This is Winter Thistle by Modern Folk Embroidery. And I am so in love with this stitch. I stitched it on a 36 count Under the Sea fabrics. It is the colorway What is the colorway? Can't remember now. I've always said it before. Now it's completely fallen out of my brain. So if I remember it, I will put it on the screen. But Witching Hour, that's what it is, Witching Hour. And it's so pretty. And then I stitched it with Classic Colorworks Fool's Gold and then sulky, just a sulky white for the snowflakes. And I changed up the bottom. So the bottom said, it was originally trying to say Christmas. Jacob gives you a full alphabet and some different little like motifs so you can rechart it if you want to. And I chose to chart it to say Nullet Creel, which is probably a terrible pronunciation of how you say Merry Christmas in Scottish Gaelic. And I talked before about that I traveled to Scotland this summer and I got to stay in some of the places where Scottish Gaelic is still widely spoken, and I loved the language. I really, really am interested in linguistics. It's not something I studied, but I'm very interested in. I'm very interested in languages that are minority languages or languages that have been like threatened. And so I really, really like this, the language of Scottish Gaelic. And I wanted to, because it's obviously a Scottish themed sampler, I wanted to go ahead and rechart it in that. And there is an account. Her name is Lauren Rhiannon. I follow her on Instagram. She's not a crafter, but she teaches little like mini Scottish Gaelic lessons. And that is how I learned how to say this. And so if you're interested in that, I will put her Instagram as well, but down below. So really, really excited about this one. I finished Berries in Bloom. I want to say maybe Christmas Eve or like a couple days for Christmas. And then I finished this one either Christmas Day or like a day or two after Christmas. So there's that. All right. So those are my finishes. I'm going to talk now about some new starts because I started some stuff and I'm really excited about it. So my first new start was my birthday start, and it's all in this bag that I made myself. This, I have been kitting this up since the summer, and I'm so excited to have it started. So this is my very first Nora Corbett. This is Moon Glow. This is a bit different than her other patterns. This comes from the collection that's called Wild Threads. And the ladies, they're still like fancy ladies, but they're just outlines. They're kind of like silhouettes, and it still has a lot of beads. It's got silk. It's got all the beautiful other parts. But I thought that this would be a good, sorry about the ring light glare. I thought that this would be a good first Nora Corbett pattern because I have several other Noras and Mirabilias that I want to stitch, but I'm a bit intimidated. So I felt like this one not having the skin and being just a little bit less stitching would be a good intro. And also, I mean, it's gorgeous. I love it. So this is still in my hoop because I was working on this like 20 minutes ago. And here it is. Oh my goodness. So I started this on my birthday. My birthday is December 28th. And so I've stitched the moon. I started with the moon because it was the center top. And I start the center top. I started at the bottom. I started the middle. I start wherever it seems the easiest to me logically to start based on the pattern. So started the center top. And then I worked my way down so that I could get to the lady. I've done most of her hair, and then I did some of the back stitch just to be able to get over here without having to count that area. And I'm really excited. These holes are going to be where beads go. And I wish that I could put the beads in now, but I do not want to risk breaking the beads if I have to move my hoop in a way. So I'm going to put the beads in last, but I'm hoping that that will make me motivated to get it finished because I'm really, really excited about the beads. So super excited. This is on 32 count Fiber on a Whim mint. It's a really beautiful color. I really like this color. And I am doing a mixture of the called for and also a conversion that I found on Instagram. I will link the account below that has the conversion. But basically, there was a person on Instagram and she figured out that there's a number of these like DMC variegateds that, I don't know if you can see, DMC variegateds that are very close to the Karen water lilies. So I was able to use her conversion to switch out all but 2 of the Karen water lilies to the DMC variegated flosses. Is that what they're called? I don't even think it has a name on here. Anyway, so I only had to buy 2 of the Karen water lilies, which saved me quite a bit of money. I haven't started stitching with the water lilies yet. I'm sure it's amazing, but it would have been quite expensive, especially with buying the bead pack and all of that other stuff. And so I figured might as well. So this moon color is a bit more variegated than the original Karen water lily, but I do think it's very beautiful. So I'm very, very excited to continue working on this. And this needle minder is from Mad for Minders. All right. The next, let me get myself a little bit straightened up here. You can hear my beads, I wonder. Or else I will lose stuff, and this has a million pieces to it, so I don't want to risk losing it. Okay, my next new start was my New Year's new start, and also a bit of haul. So this was a Christmas present from my husband, and he did so good. I did give him a little wish list. I sent him a Google Doc with some links to like some stuff I wanted and like explained it and all of that. But he picked off that list. He ordered everything. I was completely surprised. So he got me Spring Moon by Plum Street Samplers. And this is a pattern that I have been in love with since it first came out. I think it came out last year or the year before. And for some reason, I just felt like, I don't know, I felt like it was bigger than I thought it would be, or it was more dense. I don't know, whatever. But I never bought it. I never started it. But I really, really loved it. And then when I saw that Victoria Clayton Silks had a silk conversion for Spring Moon, I knew I had to put it on my wish list. And that's what he got for me. So I have these Vicky Clayton Silks. I'm just keeping them in Flossway bags. That's the easiest thing for me right now. We'll see what happens. So here's my Vicky Clayton Silks. And if you go on her website, under, I think it's Floss Packs, there's all these patterns that she's converted into her silks. And it's amazing. And this is my first time stitching with silk ever. And it's pretty wonderful, I have to say. I understand the hype now. I understand the hype. Yeah, so, but here it is. And this is a piece I also have been just not wanting to put down. And so here we go. Here is my progress. I started in the middle on this one just because it seemed most logical. So there we go. And I've started working on the basket. I want to get down to the basket and put in some time on the basket and on the big house that's below there because they're the most dense stitching sections. And then I can alternate with working on like the pretty flowers and the rabbit and stuff up here. But that is that. And this is on 36 count wheat by Fiber on a Whim. That's what it is. And I'm stitching 1/1 because that is what the pattern called for, and I was afraid. Normally I will do 2/2 on 36 count, but on this one I was afraid that because it's what the pattern called for that I would run out of silk. And I've heard that 1/1 on silk is ideal. Stitching 1 with silk is better. So that's what I'm doing. I'm very, very excited about that piece. I am so happy. So I am going to be doing 24 and 24. So I'm going to be doing 24 new starts in 2024. So this was number 1. I am really excited to do a lot of new starts. I used to be a monogamous stitcher, and I'm interested to know, like, are y'all monogamous stitchers? Do you have a certain number of things on the go? Do you just stitch whatever, start as many things? I always thought that having a lot of whips would like stress me out, but it actually turned out to be that being a monogamous stitcher stressed me out more because I felt like I had to finish what I was working on before I could start something new. And then if I didn't want to stitch on that anymore, and I was excited about something else, and I would just not stitch. And then when it came time to start a new pattern, I was stressed out about picking which one because it felt like I'm committed to this one for months. And in like, yeah, 2023, I just decided I'm just going to start stuff. I'm going to start whatever I want with limits. I mean, I don't start too many things, but I'm going to start some things and not worry about the whip count as much. And it has made me so happy. I'm not saying I never get a little bit worried about the number of whips I have going or if I'm going to finish a project, but yeah, in general, I really liked it. So I'm going to try to do 24 new starts in 2024. I did not count how many starts I did in 2023, so I think I came close to that. So it's not like a terrible challenge. I'm just interested in tracking how many starts I do and if I can get to 24, because that's about 2 a month. So I have this one planned. And then, or I've just started this one already, and then my other start in January, I'm going to be starting something for the Scottish style, which is being hosted by the Alba Stitcher. I think I will show you what I'm going to be starting for that in my next video because I haven't bought the supplies for it yet, but that is going to be my start on January 25th. And then I've already got my start for February 1st planned out. I'm so excited about that one because I'm going to be stitching it along with someone. And so yeah, I'm really excited, and I'll show you that when I kind of get more set in stone things. But yes, so I'm going to move on. But yes, tell me how you decide how many whips you're going to have, how many things you start. I'm just really interested to know other people's thought process. All right, so we're going to start looking at my whips. These are pre-existing whips. And the first one I'm going to show you, you may be wondering where it's been. It's Christmas bells. And if you've been a viewer of mine for a little while, you're probably thinking, Jacinta, wasn't that supposed to be a finish by Christmas? You'd be right. But I had a tale of misery and woe with this one. So here it is. It is not finished. It is very close to being finished. So what happened was I did my whip parade. I pulled this out. I said, this is going to be done by Christmas. All I had left was like one, that's the wrong side, one little area around here. Like I had almost everything. I lost one of my colors. Not only did I lose one of my colors, I lost this color of like the vine and the main color of this piece that all the other colors attached to. I lost it. I looked everywhere. I looked in every single project bag, every single knitting bag, every single drawer. I looked in my daughter's room in case she took it. I looked in the laundry baskets. I looked in the trash. I looked all the places, and I could not find it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to finish. I finished the words. I finished all the other parts that I could finish without that thread. And I thought I'm just gonna work on other things. It'll turn up. It didn't. So I started panicking because it was like a week before Christmas and I wanted to have this finished before Christmas. So I put in an order, a color and cotton. Ordered a new skein. Fine. It arrived the day after Christmas, so it definitely wasn't getting done by Christmas. And not only did it arrive the day after Christmas, but I don't even have it with me. Yeah, I left it in the other room. It was not even the same color. Like it was a completely other dye lot. It's completely other dye. I mean, it's fine. It's hand dyed, floss. That's how it goes. I'm not complaining, but it was not even close. It was like much, much more blue green. Like it was like a blue spruce color. Beautiful color, just didn't match this one. I even tried to stitch a few stitches. It wasn't going to be okay. So I pulled it out. So now I'm panicking. I'm like, what am I going to do? And I was like, I could try to wait to find it, but I could be waiting indefinitely. Like, what if I accidentally got thrown away or like something and it's permanently gone out of my house because it hadn't turned up in like 2 weeks. So then I went through my stash and I was looking for something else that would be a similar color. So I found Classic Colors Mistletoe and I stitched it, and I actually still have, so like these two here were stitched in mistletoe, and I actually stitched this one and this one in mistletoe as well. And it like kind of matched. You can see here, it looks okay on these two little ones. But on this one here, it did not look right at all. You could tell that it was a different color. But I was gonna live with it because like, I want to get this thing done. So I stitched the mistletoe. I'm fixing to start stitching the rest of this. And I found my missing skein of wool. It was like in a drawer. I have like an IKEA bed that has storage underneath. It was like in a drawer underneath like my knitted shawls. I don't even know how this happened. It's like a thing of folklore. Okay. So I find it like the day after I stitch it with the wrong color. And I was looking at it and I was looking at it. I was like, do I pull it out? I even showed my husband and he was like, I can really tell that that's not the same color. So I left it on these two because I think since it's a smaller, amount of stitched area, and it happened to be on kind of like the darker variegated part of the skein, you can't really see. But this one down here and then this one up here, you could really tell that it wasn't the same floss. So I picked those out. I restitched it with the floss that I found that we're missing. And then I was just frustrated and mad. And so I put it away and I haven't finished it. And it's so close. So like all I have to do is finish up like a couple of the ends of the like leaves. And then I have to put in like one or two, I think I have one bell and one flower, and then it's finished. So this weekend is Epiphany, which is the ending of the Christmas time, right? The 12 days of Christmas. And I usually like to pull out one of my Christmas projects to work on around Epiphany. And so I think I'm going to pull this out this weekend and try to finish it up like on the weekend of Epiphany. And then it'll really be finished. So that is my tale of woe. It's so sad. Okay. My next WIP, my last WIP that I'm going to show you was my New Year's Eve stitch. And this stitch, I talked about my WIP parade. So this is one that I started. This was my New Year's New Start last year. So my New Year's New Start for 2023. And this is Light by Barbara Anna. And it is a beautiful pattern. And I did actually do a pretty substantial conversion on this one, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to have to figure it out because I did a lot of just like weird configuring to just see what would look good. So I didn't like necessarily do a one-for-one conversion. So I'm going to try my best to type it up and put it on Instagram when I'm finished. But I wanted to work on my New Year's start from the previous year for New Year's Eve. That way this piece got one last day in 2023. So this is what I worked on the evening of New Year's Eve. And I finished up the light on the lantern. I did her cute little feet, and then I did these houses. So I didn't get like a terrible lot done. I think I filled in a couple little like her buttons and a couple little just spots. I didn't get a terrible amount done. We were all kind of feeling a little bit sick and off that evening. So yeah, but I'm really happy with it, and it is on my WIPGO board, so I'm excited to pull it out, and when it comes out on WIPGO, it should be able to get finished up. I say that. Now I'm afraid of saying things will be finished after the Christmas bells fiasco. I don't even think I told y'all anything about Christmas bells other than it's like epic tale of woe. This this one is on a 36 count Winter Moon by Zweigart, and it is Christmas Bells by Heartstring Samplery, and I did an entire conversion in Color and Cotton. Yeah, that's right. Okay. And it's 2/2. This one is on 32 count vintage country mocha, and it's a mix of the Call for DMC and just random overdyes that I liked. Various kinds of overdyes. So those are my whips. That's a surprising amount. I felt like I hadn't got anything done, but I did. I am going to show you, I have a little bit of stitching haul. Most of my haul became new starts, but I do have two things, and they were both things that I got for Christmas, essentially. So this one, I'll show you first. So this one I got from my sister, and I was so excited. It is Gonna Have a Glare. It is Dimensions Gold Collection, and it is called Wind Moon Fairy. And I love her so much. Look at how beautiful. And my favorite part is this adorable little black kitten. Oh my goodness. I can't tell you how much I love this. I think my sister does watch my videos occasionally, so if you're watching, thank you. I really like it. I'm so excited. She actually said, I bought this for you because I knew you like it, but also because I want to see you stitch it on Instagram and post pictures. So, anyway, I'm really excited about it. And as if you've never seen a DM or a dimensions kit, it comes all like that. I was actually going to make this my New Year, New Start until I got the Plum Street sampler for my husband. And I wanted to do the Vicki Clayton silks first. But this one, I want to start this year. I have quite a few large projects. So I want to wait till I get a couple of those bigger projects kind of finished before I start this one. Because this one is, she's kind of a big girl. But I'm very, very excited about her. And I cannot wait to be able to work on her. It's my first thing. And the next thing is not cross stitch, but it's embroidery. So I bought myself, this is something I've started doing for myself, is when I am having, sorry, my hair is like very, it probably is bothering you that I'm messing with my hair, but it's bothering me because it's kind of frizzy today. I get like a lot of Christmas letdown, right? Like we have all this amped up like Advent season, it's looking forward to Christmas, and at the end of the day on Christmas, it's sort of like, and even though in our family we celebrate the 12 days of Christmas, so we still have like Epiphany and all that stuff to look forward to, it still feels like there's that like adrenaline crash, right? And so I like to always order myself a little special surprise that I can open at the end of the day on Christmas, just to be something to look forward to, like when I'm kind of feeling like down at the end of the night because it's like all coming to a close. I still have one last little treat. So I got a mystery box from Dragon Horde Yarns, and actually I'll just show you all my haul right now because it's related. I got a mystery box from Dragon Horde Yarns, and she did, it's like, it came with like a little cup, which I've already, it's in the dishwasher right now, and some other little treats and things like that. And then it came with a skein of yarn and this embroidery kit. And this one was lunar themed, I think it was. And I love anything lunar or celestial themed. So this is the little embroidery kit that it came with. It's from Cozy Blue Handmade. And it has everything inside that you need. And I'm really excited to try this out because I really have always been interested in embroidery, but it's like the transferring onto the fabric that I've just always been intimidated by. I don't know. So since this is pre-printed, I can just pick it up and start it. So I don't know, I might start this on like an upcoming full moon, or maybe like for the solar eclipse day or something like that. That might be fun. So I don't know, but I'm excited to work on this. It looks like kind of simple, so a good way to get started into embroidery. And then also in that box, I might as well just show you, was a skein of yarn, and this is called Lunar Rituals, and it's on her Myth Fingering base, which is the 25% superwash merino and 25% nylon, and it is a beautiful color. It's actually coming off lighter, so a little bit more like denim blue than it's coming off on the screen, but I really love her colors. So there's that. Okay. Yeah. So that's that haul. I'm going to talk about some plants really quick. I am all sort of out of sorts, I guess. So my only plans I'm going to talk about right now are for my WhipGo. I am doing WhipGo this year. I'm really excited about doing WhipGo this year. And I did WhipGo last year. I didn't finish my WhipGo board, but that's okay. So the ones that got called, I believe, were 9 and 22. I think that's correct. I know what my projects are though. And my WhipGo board is a little bit different because I put cross stitch, like knitting and quilting on there. And most of my projects I put on there like twice because I don't have that many whips. And so I want to get to all of them and make substantial progress. And I also want to make sure I'm working on a variety of different kinds of projects, that being like sewing, quilting, knitting, all of that. So my cross stitch piece that I'm going to be working on is Real Comfort by Modern Folk Embroidery. And this is where it is. So this is where I'm starting from. This is my first WhipGo call for January. And I am using, this is on a fabric from Fortnite Fabrics, and it was like a single order, like ready to ship thing. It doesn't have a name. It's a 32 count, and I'm using a DMC variegated, which I think I don't have with me right now. I kind of try to stack my projects with other project bags. So I will, if you're interested in which one it is, let me know. But it's the one that's like a purple blue variegated. So this is what I have not worked on this. I worked on this when we were traveling this summer, and I haven't worked on it since. So I'm really excited to get back to it and put some time in on it. And I am changing this up. This pattern originally has an alphabet at the bottom, and alphabets are not my favorite. So I'm just cutting off the alphabet, and it makes it a smaller piece, saves me on some fabric and floss, and it'll be perfect for me. So that is that piece. And then my other WhipGo call, this is actually, so that concludes all of the stitching. That concludes all of the stitching. I'm going to talk, because my second WhipGo call is quilting. So let me show you what I have that I'm working on for quilting. So this is a pattern, and it was a kit from Connecting Threads that my husband got for me for Christmas 2 years ago, I think. And this is what it is called. It is the Butter Churn quilt. And it all came as a kit. So all the fabrics came with it, except for the backing, I think. I'm going to have to buy backing. And I have got it all cut out. And this past year, I started sewing. There's like 1,000 half square triangles, like small ones. Not really 1,000, but it's over, well over 100. I don't even know how many. Maybe it's not over 100. It's a lot though. It's a lot. It's a high number. So I've gotten these ones done so far. So I have like a whole little stack of my little house square triangles. I love these fabrics. They're these amazing like vintage florals. So pretty. And so I have this stack marked so I can sew them. And I have all of my stuff. This is how I keep my quilts. I try to in these little bins. And that way I can stack them and store them and they stay all together. And then I don't always do this, but for this one there was a lot of smaller cut pieces that all had different labels. So I use like baggies, and I will use a post-it note, and I'll put like, this is piece B, and I put all the B's in here. Okay, and I reuse these baggies because I know this is a lot of plastic, right? But I will literally reuse my bags, and sometimes I'll even have ones where the post-it notes are like crossed out and then a new number because I've reused my post-it notes as well. So this is how I keep it all kind of organized, and that way it's easier for me as a busy mom to just like pull things out, know what's what, do some quilting, do some sewing, and then stick it all back in the bag. And I even will do this for other types of like sewing projects as well. Garments don't always work super well in these, but if I can make it work, I will put it in a bin like this. And I got this one from the Dollar Tree. It's really cute. I'm hoping they came out with this around Valentine's last year, the year before, and I'm hoping they have some similar ones because I'd like to pick up some more. Okay, so that's my quilting. And now I'm going to talk really quickly about knitting. So I just have 2 knitting projects and I have 1 more skein of yarn. So I want to show you my Advent socks, which I was working on my last video. So this is West Yorkshire Spinners 4-ply in the Candy Cane color. And then my heels, toes, and cuffs are Knit Picks Stroll in Dove Heather. So I got almost done with 1 sock. I need to do like a couple more rounds on my foot and then add in my toe. So I may work on this like Epiphany weekend a little bit, but probably these are just going to get put away. I may pull them out for Christmas in July, but if it takes me a couple years to knit a pair of Christmas socks and I just work on them each Advent, then that's okay too. Usually when I knit socks, it's kind of utilitarian, like I want to finish up the sock and wear the sock, but I don't like need Christmas socks. They're just fun. So it's a nice project to work on, and I'm trying not to be worried about like, do I get it done before this year or whatever. So these ones will slowly get worked on. They might get put away. I have other sock needles and plenty of sock yarn to cast on new socks, so I'm not worried about that. And then my next one is a knitting project that I have not been able to put down, and it is a super special knitting project. It is my Christmas Eve cast on. So in the knitting podcast community, Christmas Eve cast-ons is something that a lot of people have been doing for quite a number of years, and you basically just start a special project on Christmas Eve that you can, work on throughout the holiday season and the rest of the year and remember. So I got a yarn advent this year from Ruby and Rose's Yarn Company, and I had meant to show you guys my yarn advent on my last podcast, but that section ended up being weird and I had to cut it out. So unfortunately you haven't seen this before, but basically it's little bags of yarn. Every day you open one up and it's an advent, right? Okay, so I got one from Ruby and Roses and the colors are beautiful and I was so excited. So I cast on a Habitation Throw by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade, and I'm trying not to drop all of my stuff. So this is where I am. I'm on the 3rd color, and these are 20 gram minis. So this throw was originally written for 10 gram minis, so it's actually going to be double the original size. It's really more of like a formula than a strict pattern because she basically gives you the repeats and then says, now do the decrease and like when you get halfway through. But it's a really good pattern. If you're looking to knit a blanket, I would highly suggest it. So it's corner to corner. I store it in this basket, also from Dollar Tree. And I just have all of my yarns like I wound them up into balls and then I stuck them back in the bag they came in. That way I can do them in order. So, and it's been fun because I open them every day, but I've forgotten what a lot of them are. And so it's sort of like I'm getting to rediscover it every time I start a new row. So here is this. Here we are. I love these colors. It's so beautiful. And this is actually, I don't know how true to life that color was, but so it's a very simple pattern. It's just garter stitch with some eyelet rows thrown in, and I'm really, really excited about it. I actually have stitched this or knit this pattern one time before. I don't know if you can see, but down here is the last time I had a yarn advent, I did a Habitation Throw as well. So here's this one, it's folded in half. This one was 10 gram minis. This was beautiful. This was Sweet Sparrow Yarns Advent from 2019, but it is a bit small And I think that that's one of the reasons, the main reason I haven't used this as much in my house is because it's so precious. I've been scared to use it, but it is a bit, like, I'll show y'all, it's a bit small, right? Like, it's not the biggest blanket. It's a decent size. It's a nice little, like, tiny lap throw, but you can't really, like, snuggle up under it. So, I do use it occasionally. It stays on this blanket ladder. It's beautiful. But this one is going to be much bigger, and so I'm excited about it being much bigger. Will it take much longer to knit? Yes, but it'll be worth it. So I am very excited about that. And it's just so much fun, so relaxing, and so much fun to see my new colors, add in my colors. And I'm very happy. This will take me a while, but I plan on just keeping this out all year and just knitting on it whenever I just want something really mindless and comforting. And yeah. So I'm not going to show you the whole advent calendar because that would take forever. But I did want to show you my big skein I got on the 25th because it is so beautiful. This is called Christmas Market, and again, it's by Ruby and Roses, and it's in her soft rose base, which is 85% superwash merino and 15% nylon, and it is a 4-ply, so it'd be a perfect sock yarn, I think, or you could use it for a lot of other things, but it's fingering weight. I am obsessed with these speckles. I love this like honey color, like this like gingerbready honey color mixed with the pink and the speckles. So good. I don't know what I will make out of this because it'd be perfect for socks, but it's almost too pretty. So I don't know. I might try to find a special, like a one skein shawl pattern that I really like and do that. But I'm so in love with this color. I was so happy with the Ruby and Roses yarn advent. I had never bought from her before, but I'm definitely going to be buying some of her other just regular skeins. I would love to have sweaters quantity in a couple of her colorways because they're really pretty. Okay, that I believe actually concludes my video. It was a little bit of a longer one this time because I had a lot to show y'all, but thank you so much if you made it to the end. As always, please consider liking and subscribing if you haven't already, and be sure to check me out on Instagram to see what I get up to on a more daily basis. Thank you so much, and I hope y'all have a great next few weeks.